It would appear that royals around the world enjoy an abundance of resources, including authority, prestige, and most significantly, wealth. And the British royal family is no exception. As one of the oldest and most storied dynasties in the world, with a rich history and tradition that extends over 1,000 years, the illustrious British royal family possesses wealth that is not just vast, but impressive in its scope and reach. The late Queen Elizabeth II ruled for 70 years and left a lasting impression on the royal family. Her estates alone are estimated to be worth hundreds of millions of pounds, and with centuries of accumulated wealth, the British royal family is undoubtedly one of the wealthiest in the world. Now, trying to work out exactly how much wealth she owned is not easy, as she made active efforts to conceal her family's personal wealth from the public. All of her possessions were left to her heirs after her death, and if we were hoping for an estimate by calculating the tax that they would have to pay for these assets, we would have to burst our own bubble, because the law states that any inheritance passed from sovereign to sovereign, such as Elizabeth to Charles, is not taxed. The United Kingdom's government passed this unique law in 1993 to safeguard the royal family's fortune. This includes the Crown Estate, which is a huge collection of land and property that the monarch owns. It is said to be worth $16.6 billion. We will get to the Crown Estate later on in the video, but what we are trying to get at is that it's very difficult to calculate their actual wealth. There are a lot of estimates circling around though. For example, the Sunday Times Rich List put the Queen's personal net worth at more than $420 million, while author and royal expert David McClure put it at around $460 million. Other calculations put the number closer to $1 billion. Brand Finance, a leading brand valuation consulting firm, says that the capital value of the monarchy is more than $77 billion. Whatever the exact figure is, one thing is certain. The family is loaded beyond our wildest dreams with royal estates, business holdings, valuable art collections, priceless jewels, and investments in some of the world's largest corporations. Their wealth, however, is not without controversy, as many argue that the royal family has benefited from the exploitation of people and resources in their former colonies. Critics also point to the fact that the monarchy's wealth is largely untaxed, which they view as being extremely unfair. It also makes you wonder about the morality of inheriting money and how it should be used in the modern world. In today's video, we will explore the wealth of one of the world's oldest dynasties, the House of Windsor. From their sprawling estates to their priceless jewels, we will look at the assets that make up the wealth of this powerful family. But first, a brief history of the royal family of Britain, the House of Windsor. The House of Windsor has a long and distinguished history. With roots that stretch back to the 10th century, the dynasty has survived wars, revolutions, and political turmoil, and continues to be a major force in the world today. In 1917, King George V made the name Windsor the official name of the British royal family, replacing the old name Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. This name change was made to distance the family from its German roots and emphasize the family's loyalty to Britain during World War I. They have been the longest-lasting reigning royal family in British history, having reigned for over 100 years, and the House of Windsor has been led by 5 monarchs, starting with King George V, followed by King Edward VIII, King George VI, and Queen Elizabeth II, and now King Charles III. The monarch serves as the head of the state for 15 sovereign states: Antigua and Barbuda, Australia, the Bahamas, Belize, Canada, Grenada, Jamaica, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Solomon Islands, and Tuvalu are among them. In addition to these distinct monarchies, there are 3 crown dependencies, 14 British overseas territories, and 2 small connected New Zealand states, the Cook Islands and Niue. As a result, the House of Windsor has a global presence and influence, representing millions of people in numerous countries around the world. How the British royal family uses the real estate they possess to amass their fortune. The royal British family owns vast tracts of land, including castles, estates, and other properties, which they use to generate income from rent, tourism, and other investments. The British monarchy has a long history of living in some of the most famous places in the world: Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, and even the royal family's holiday residence, Balmoral Castle are all well-known landmarks in the United Kingdom, but there are some lesser-known estates spread across the United Kingdom and the rest of the world that not many people know about, like for example, the duchies. Now, what is even a duchy? A duchy is an area of land that is owned by a duke or duchess, who is appointed by the king or queen. The duke or duchess holds the title to the land, property, and other assets in trust for the sovereign and has special rights and privileges over them. At the moment, England has two duchies, the Royal Duchy of Cornwall and the Royal Duchy of Lancaster. The Royal Duchy of Cornwall. When King Charles III was still the Prince of Wales, he was also the Duke of Cornwall. During his 64 years as prince, King Charles made millions of dollars from the Duchy of Cornwall, which helped him build a huge billion-dollar portfolio of his own. Over the past 10 years, his portfolio's value and profits have gone up by almost 50%, thanks to the work of a large team of professional managers he put together. The title now belongs to Prince William, and the estates that come with the title are enormous to say the least, with properties spread out over more than 20 counties in England and Wales, containing housing developments, holiday homes, farms, forests, and even coastlines. The money from the estate pays for the Duke and his close family's public, private, and charitable work. The Royal Duchy of Lancaster. The Duchy of Lancaster, which made $21.98 million in 2021 to 2022, is owned by King Charles III. It covers about 46,000 acres and has over 600 homes, 700 farms, 35,000 acres of moors, 8,000 acres of woods, islands, and historical sites. It is by far the biggest private estate in the UK, and the monarch makes a lot of money from it. The whole duchy is worth about $797.8 million, and it is used to pay for the activities of the royal family. Crown Estate. But wait, that's not all. The royals also own and benefit from the Crown Estate, which, as the name suggests, is a group of the monarch's properties and belongings all over the United Kingdom. As the reigning monarch, King Charles III's wealth is boosted the most by the Crown Estate. It is managed by an independent organization on behalf of the monarch, and it has been in operation since 1760. Some of its huge holdings include Windsor Castle, the seabed around England, Wales, and Northern Ireland, assets in rural and coastal areas, and 10 million square feet of mixed-use property in London's West End. The Crown Estate is estimated to be worth around $16.6 billion, with all proceeds going to the Treasury. Some of the most important properties owned by the royals are Anmer Hall, Kensington Palace, Balmoral Castle, Birk Hall Estate, Gatcombe Park, Ivy Cottage, Wren House, and Nottingham College, Windsor Castle, Fort Belvedere, Frogmore House, Birk Hall, Thatched Lodge, the Castle of May, Dumfries House, Craigowen Lodge, Hampton Court Palace, the Old Royal Palace of Hatfield, and Barnwell Manor, and many more. We'll stop here because the list is lengthy, and we're confident that you get the point. The family owns more land than you could ever imagine and makes a fortune from it. Now, let's explore the other luxurious items that contribute to their fortune. A fleet of super expensive wheels. The royal family also owns a fleet of luxury cars, from Aston Martins to Bentleys, that are fit for royalty. The popular Rolls-Royce Phantom 4 and Bentley State Limousine belonged to King Charles III's mother, and when he ascended to the throne, he inherited both vehicles. Aston Martin V8 Vantage Volantes, Vauxhall Cresta PA Estates, Land Rover TD5 Defender 130 hearses, and Lagonda 3-liter drop-head coupes are just a few of the many rare vehicles kept in the royal garage. Each of these cars is maintained and serviced by a team of professional mechanics, ensuring that they remain in pristine condition and are ready for any royal occasion. Regal Jewels, owned by the monarch. All eyes have always been on the crown jewels of the late queen. Her priceless crown is adorned with the most precious diamonds and jewels. Great Star of Africa. The Great Star of Africa, often known as Cullinan, is the largest diamond in the world, weighing 5,230.2 carats and valued at $51 million. It was discovered in 1910 as part of a massive diamond discovered in South Africa and given to Queen Elizabeth II's grandmother, Mary of Teck. Diamond Diadem. It is a set with 1,333 diamonds, the largest of which is a 4-carat yellow diamond in the center. This was initially worn by George IV for his coronation in 1821. Since then, it has been a part of the British royal family's crown jewels and has been worn by many members of the family on important occasions. Included in this chain are a 23.6 carat uncut diamond from Tanzania, a 23.6 carat diamond necklace from South Africa, a pair of diamond earrings, over 200-year-old jewels, and a magnificent black snuff box adorned with diamonds. Works of art. The royal family possesses one of the world's most extensive and spectacular art collections. It has 150,000 paintings by well-known artists such as Rembrandt, Rubens, Claude, Gentileschi, Van Dyck, and Raphael. There were 7,000 paintings, 500,000 prints, 30,000 sketches, sculptures, and other artifacts among the artworks. Some can be found in museums, while others are housed in royal palaces. This incredible collection has been built up over many centuries and is a testament to the royal family's passion for art. Well, that concludes our look at the British royal family. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more content just like this.